Hello, everyone, and welcome to Plate Stack Chat. My name is Jason, or Jason CF Media on Instagram or here on YouTube. And just a reminder that these episodes also come out as an audio podcast. So if you have friends that don't have time to watch it on YouTube, maybe suggest they head over to their favorite podcasting app and subscribe to Plate Stack Chat. And if they or you want to leave a 5-star review on your podcasting app of choice, I'm going to start reading them out on the show. So that's a little bit of homework for everyone. But that's enough about me, because I know the real reason you come is for the wonderful guests that I get on. So let's bring them out right now. First up, we have an incredible athlete who has a fascinating CrossFit Games profile, having been to the CrossFit Games in 2018, 2020 and 2021 as an individual, and in 2023 he was there as part of a team. Now, some people might say he's washed up, but he will be making his return trip to the games as an individual this year, showing he is not washed up but more aged like a fine wine. It is, of course, the one and only Brandon Luckett.
What's up, man?
And he just takes a sip as he's brought on as well. He's just playing it cool. That's what we like to see.
You got me with the washed up part. Made me laugh.
I got you, yeah. Don't worry. We'll put all of that out on the table today. But before we do that, we have to bring on our second guest. Joining Brandon and myself is a man who might have thought I was talking about him when I said an incredible athlete, as he has tried going head-to-head against some games caliber athletes with debatable success. He is also stealing everyone's jobs in the media space, making memes, doing a podcast, and he will even be at the CrossFit Games in person. So if you are there, watch out for chloroform, as he is trying to grow his followers on Instagram. The man behind Kipping It Real, please welcome Grant Hooper.
What up?
Oh, you guys, you really, you come on with such energy.
I thought
we all just got done working out.
We did all just
even
me,
who
which
all
is
has
rare.
worked out already.
Yeah, because usually
I know
I get called
Brandon's
out for not working out.
Time. That's right. Brandon, when did you work out?
A couple hours ago.
Thank you.
It was a long one.
Yeah.
Seeing as I have said that this is also an audio podcast, I'm going to have to remind myself to read all the comments when I bring them up. So Sarah Cooper says, Jason wins for best intros ever. Thank you. It is the most effort that goes into this show is the intros. And then it's downhill from there.
I totally forgot about those. I watch almost every episode, and yet I still forgot about the intros.
Yeah. I think some people come in and say hi, and then I can see they've disappeared after a few minutes. And I think they've just come for the intro. They've come, they've seen it. There's nothing new here. They're like, I can see Brandon on multiple CrossFit shows, so I'll just go and watch one of those. But I'm interested to see how Jason will introduce him. I've seen that. Now I'll go back over to Clydesdale and watch a professional interview. That's what I think is happening here. And then some people turn up late, like Sammy from Pop of the Top podcast, and says, I missed the intros. So he'll have to go back and watch that later. So Uplift is here. Hi, Grant.
Hey.
So
what's up, Uplift? Love that.
And also, hi, Brandon. Don't feel left out.
What's up, Mark?
Yeah. So this is sort of
live from each other there, Louisiana.
Me and Mark.
Yeah,
he's maybe like 30 minutes away. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It's close by.
I was curious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is that so? I'm interested to know kind of how you guys started sort of teaming up with some of the stuff you're putting out, or he's putting out, or some pretty disgusting workouts that get put up
with
and
Uplift.
People get forced to do. Yeah.
I mean, Mark started Uplift like a couple years ago now. I think the Imam company like wrote the first workout that they ever put out, but then he's had like different athletes program different events for him. So he's had a bunch of people write workouts for Uplift.
Yeah. Well, I've only done one of them, and it was the one you wrote, and it was disgusting.
Was it the first one or the last one we wrote?
It was the wall balls, toe to bars, and max calories. Yeah. Which but basically
Brandon's workouts are notorious.
Which basically, I think it was Corey that had posted the the workout on his, like he'd done it on and posted it up on Instagram, and I'd
Mhm.
commented on it. And then they were like, "Oh, you have to give it a go. You have to give it a go." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll give it a go." And then I was doing the podcast with Rebecca Vitterson and Mads Jacobson, and we're just getting towards the end. And Corey's like, "Have you done that workout yet?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it now." So finished the podcast, ran to the gym before like the last slot closes, and did that. Didn't enjoy it at all.
You got suckered into it.
Yeah.
Most of Brandon's workouts look brutal. Brandon, do you have you have different versions of the workouts though on your program, or?
Yeah, so I mean, we have scales for sorry,
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of these comments. I'm reading all the comments.
Are they distract you? Was it this
They are.
one from CrossFit? The phrase
Yeah,
Brandon only talks one time a minute every minute.
Yes, that one.
See,
yeah, we
yeah,
have scales.
I'm
on
so
every
happy.
workout.
My default, yeah, my
So,
default
yeah.
is private chat. Yeah. So I can't see the chat, which is good.
Okay, well then you're not gonna. So on that episode, we talked about sleep. Sarah, so I've tried the magnesium suggestion from that episode, and no luck yet. Might have to try to reduce my caffeine consumption. Yeah, I don't know how well magnesium will offset copious amounts of caffeine. So I don't know how much you're drinking.
Yeah.
But that could be the problem. Guys, the games is almost upon us.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah,
It's there.
Hey, can you guys still hear me?
we can hear you.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we're
Yep.
just choosing to ignore
Can
you,
you hear
but we can
us?
hear you.
Okay. No, it makes me feel at home. Like my best friends listen to about 40% of what I say. Well, shoot, you guys have both received private messages from me. You know how I am. I can be normal like 40% of the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's the percent that they listen to. So they've just somehow worked out
That's
how
right.
to filter out the other
That's exactly
percentage.
right.
Yeah.
They get really good at it too. Like my close friends, like they kind of know when it's important, and then they'll just be days where they don't talk to me.
Yeah, it's the times that they miss the important bit that's going to worry them. Like,
That's
we
right.
haven't seen Grant in
Yeah.
ages. I don't know where he's been. he was saying something the other day. I don't know. Anyway, Grant, there is a question for you in here from Sarah Cooper, who asks, "Can Grant explain the bear?" I'm assuming
that's
she's
Castro
talking.
the bear.
Yeah. What bear? Maybe that one that's bigger than you, just to the side of you.
Yeah, you guys don't have a gigantic bear, and it's probably out of the shot, right? No.
Yes.
Yeah. No. This is Castro the
I
bear.
call them my children, but yeah.
Yeah. I figured I'd bring him on because he's going to be in an upcoming meme here in the next
See,
day or two. Keep your eye out for that. Kipping It Real CrossFit on Instagram. But yeah, that's Castro the bear.
That's Castro the bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. Okay. Well, look out for that meme. Speaking of memes, Meme for Time is here as well. Brandon, you're bringing. I'll be honest with you. It's either you or Grant, but there's a lot of people in the comments today
Brandon.
that I don't want to say they're not normally here. Some of them are here regularly, but it's nice to see that you've got a lot of fans out there.
You know what's funny? Oh, sorry.
No, you do. What's funny?
Don't stop
Roderick,
talking.
Meme for Time, right before. So I had to do the WOD Prep podcast because they lost CJ, I think is his name. And so I hopped on that, and I had CrossFit, but then it ended in time for me to like get in my car, book it there, and hope they hadn't started the WOD yet. And I had just got done watching. I searched on YouTube how to descend a rope climb, because normally on legless rope climbs, I just like jump from like way too high. And his video came up. I think he used to do some more like tips and tricks type stuff. And so I used it, and it went well. I felt really smooth. It's my first time ever not falling off legless rope climb. So I was pretty excited.
I appreciate that, because it could have been an interesting story of you not turning up here because of dropping from a rope at a ridiculous
because
height.
I took his advice and I like broke my leg. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just about to ask Brandon a question as he picked up his cup. So
Fire away. I'm ready.
So, I mean, we mentioned you being washed up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've ever said that. Other people have insinuated.
Wouldn't have offended me. Yeah.
But I mean, going back to the games, excited, happy, thrilled, nervous, anxious, all of the above?
All the above, man. I'm stoked. Yeah. I don't know why. Kind of just felt like I needed to go one more time. I don't know how often that happens with everyone else of like, getting something done and then it's over and you're like, man, I thought this would have been my last one, but maybe just one more time. So I think like 2023 going, 2021 was my last time I competed as an individual. 2022 I took completely off. Then 2023 was like a team. And I don't know why after 2023, it kind of just like in the back of my mind for a while, like I need to go one more time. And so made the decision kind of for like around December or January to give it another shot.
What happened in 2019? I mean, obviously I know what happened in 2019 globally, but for a lot of people, that's like, because that was kind of the online games, was it? So you had the few that were in person, but there was also the bigger sort of online games. And there's quite a few people that maybe that's sort of their games is, I was at the games in 2019.
2019
technically, but it was the online portion.
That was it. 2019 was the year that like every country.
Do I mean 2020?
Winner.
Maybe I mean
2020 was the online games where 40 men competed online,
right?
And then 5 went on to.
So then, okay, what happened in 2019 that you took a break there?
Well? I was in grad school, so we can back up to like 2018 a little bit. I was in grad school in 2018, the first year I qualified, and like a week after the CrossFit Games, my first time going there, I took all my final exams for graduate school for my summer classes. I took board exams. I started applying to residencies. I also failed my board exams, and was just like took a step back and I was like, dude, like I'm so spread thin, and I do not want to, like, I don't want the fact that like I'm competing in CrossFit to be the reason that I don't get into residency. And so I just decided to kind of take a step back from competing and focus on my schooling and make sure I was putting my best foot forward there and giving it the attention it deserved. So just didn't compete in 2019. Actually, I wasn't going to compete in 2020 either, but I ended up going team in 2020. Then COVID happened, but I'd qualified through the Open. So then I competed as an individual. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you like to take a step back and be like, you know what, I need to do this thing instead of just focusing on CrossFit. Because we see a lot of people doubling down on CrossFit and being like, right, that's it, I'm going all in.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, currently, like, it's very, very difficult for that to be a career. Yep. And even if it becomes a career, how long a career will that be?
Right.
And obviously there are some people that have been able to make, really make it a livelihood even after they've retired, and
sure.
It's a huge thing. But that's, again, like, it's already like a minority of people within the world of CrossFit that can make it to the games, that can make it to that level. And then within that minority, you've got an even smaller minority that can then build, a brand or a platform off of that.
Yeah.
So kind of having the idea of like, maybe I need something real and tangible in place.
Yep.
And hey, maybe then CrossFit does take you, to the highest levels. Great. But
yeah. I mean, it was like something that with like CrossFit, the best way to make money in the sport is, 1, to be one of the best athletes, and then 2, to be extremely marketable, to basically being a promoter of something, an influencer, right? And it like that was just not something I had any interest in, was like, constantly posting to Instagram and like building my personal brand on there. I will say, like, after starting like the Imam company, like I have no problem trying to build a brand of something that actually provides a service. But I really didn't have
your name is Brandon, like, sure. It's nominative determinism that you should be building a brand. Like, and also, we've got to throw this up here. It says Brandon is literally the smartest dude I know. So
that's why you
got to meet more people, Mark.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit intimidated now.
No, he didn't win. You got beat by Rosema. There was WOD Prep at a death match against all the CrossFit Games athletes, and the finale was Luckett versus Rosema, mainly due to their wrestling backgrounds, but some other things. Luckett got through, beat some big names because he outsmarted them. He took out in the John Wick style round, he took out Ricky Garrard. There was some controversy over whether Ricky was actually dead or whether Brandon didn't quite finish him off, but he did. And then he got, I think he got sniped in the face by Rosema.
Wow.
Yeah,
And yet he
it's
still made
pretty
it to the
entertaining.
podcast, which is pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we just have to bring up the follow-up comment. I know Brandon, Corey, and Grant. Sorry, Corey and Grant. Oh,
I don't know that there's anybody that dislikes Brandon. Maybe somebody.
There's someone out there, I'm sure.
There's someone out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whose spot did you steal for the games this year? It's probably that person.
Yeah, that's right. Number 41 is really mad. Yeah.
Man, actually, since you say that, dude, I might have like kind of screwed up the West semifinals like tickets to the games, because my scores, because I wasn't ranked worldwide, like
Right.
on the rankings, because I haven't
Oh.
competed as an individual in like several years.
Wow.
And so I was ranked in like the not even top 100 in the world. So I didn't contribute to a qualifying spot from the West. So I might have actually screwed up.
So it's
some
your
shit
fault
there.
Asia got extra space. Oh no, because they only got extra for the whip.
But wait, wasn't that
that
that was locked in beforehand? Sorry if I'm not following, but will that somehow affect next year's amount of spots, or I don't know the math behind that.
I don't know if it'll affect next year's, because I think
Yeah.
it's the power rankings going into semis every year.
Yeah.
And I won't be competing next year, and so like it's only like who comes in to compete.
Oh, you say you won't be competing
Breaking
next year.
news.
Yeah.
How
TF media.
like how sure are you you're not competing?
I mean, I think I've proven a point enough, and I think this year was. I feel like every year is like a point that I needed to prove.
Right.
Like, and I think this year was just a point I needed to prove to myself more than any. Like, I didn't really care about proving a point to anybody else other than myself. Like, I got a kid on the way. I got 3 businesses to run. At some point, it kind of just like, it's. Did you like? I think I got out of competing in the sport what I needed from myself from it. And it's also like you have to be so selfish with yourself to be able to do this. And so I think it's just kind of time to kind of put that aside. There's some other physical challenges I'd like to work on, and then just kind of dedicate myself to the work that I do.
Because I get this feeling that no one ever really retires in CrossFit. Like, the number of people that have like retired and then they're like, oh, but they came back for this, and they're like, yeah, but that didn't really count. That wasn't really, that was so.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'll wait and see if you're really not there.
Yeah, it'll be the 3rd time that I actually retire. The first time was in 2019. 2020, Alexis Johnson asked me to come back and do team. I did team, then did individual for 2 years, and then 2022, I was like, I'm good. Like I'm gonna go work and live my life. And then Alexis
kid really
Johnson
changes things. The kid,
yeah, probably will. So
yeah.
Both times I like unretired was because I was asked to do a team. And then I was like, okay, I'll do individual like one more time. So we'll see. Yeah. Thanks, Alexis.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, we know the mechanism now. We just need to tease you with the idea of a team, and then just last minute switch it to individual, and you're like, well, I've gotten fit again, so I better. Yeah. Okay. There's
got to be a scenario where I'd imagine there's a scenario where you come back. Like, what if you surprise yourself? You do really well and you place really high. Wouldn't that scratch some sort of itch? Like, man, if I place this high, is there a scenario you can think of in your head that would definitely bring you back for another year? If assuming everything is, under control of the house, you've got the routine down with the newborn and everything like that.
Yeah. If the dollar value incentive was high enough, I'd come back.
That's a good point.
All right. Let's just clip that, send it to Alexis so she knows, and then we'll be ready for next year. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So like, I mean, because so if it was sort of a similar setup maybe then to like how Rogue is in the kind of everything's paid for you to get, like once you qualify for the games, that's it. They'll take care of you. They'll get you there. Like your, accommodation is sorted, travel is sorted, and then it's like, oh, now any prize money you win puts you into a positive, and it's not, yeah, great, I've won enough to maybe cover the majority of my expenses. And
I think that the compensation would have to be equal to or greater than the sacrifice that I make to compete in this sport every year.
Yeah. Which is getting more.
Yeah.
Because of
and not just like how much I spend on travel and like self-care and like all of that stuff, which doesn't really get covered for me. It's all comes out of pocket. Because I don't have sponsors. I don't do that kind of thing really. I also mean all of the time that I put into training where I'm not growing my work, like not growing my businesses. It would also have to offset that.
And I guess, as you said, what you've got, you've got a baby on the way, right?
I do. Yeah.
When more or less is
January?
I don't know how much you want to. January. Okay, cool. So obviously you're also factoring in like time. So time spent training. You said before it's a very selfish endeavor, and when it's like a partner, they can kind of, one, understand it, and two, you can adjust a bit. Like they can say, okay, you're not free in the day because you're training, but we can still spend some time together in the evening, or whatever. Like when it's a kid, there's like small windows of time, and that's it. And it's like you've got those windows, and there's certain things that are like first words, first steps, things like that. They're only going to happen once.
Yeah, that's
a good point.
And they're the kind of things you'll be like, oh, I missed huge chunks of this because I was at the gym, is gonna hurt, right?
Yeah. And now, like, I would say, like, my wife is insanely supportive. Like, she would say, like, if you want to compete again, like, do it. We'll just be at the gym with you. Our garage space is big enough for me to do it. But it's when you want to balance everything. It's like, and honestly, it's the time between semis and the games that it gets the hardest for me, because the season starts in February with the Open, and then it drags all the way through August. That is February, March, April, May, June, July. It's a half a year of in season where everything is extremely dialed in, and like it's almost like a focus of my day is like making sure like I get in training wherever I can. And, I try to make work come first, but at other times it's like when you're a month away from the games or a month away from semis, like all your eggs are in that training basket. Like work gets put second, honestly. And a half a year of that every year isn't great for productivity. So it's like, that's a big part of it. Like, Kristen goes with me everywhere. So like that part of it, of like spending time together, we spend a ton of time together. We train in the garage together all the time. She rides her bike with me while I run. We make the time. It's where it's detracting from things that I feel are very important for our long-term growth. That kind of plays the biggest question in my head.
Yeah, nice. I do want to point out that I was told you're the smartest person that Uplift knows, and then I watched you count on your fingers like me, basically. So I'm like, hey, maybe he's not that smart.
I'm not that smart, man. I ain't that smart.
Yeah, we've actually mailed you a Rubik's Cube. It's on your doorstep, and we need to see how fast you can do it. So
I wouldn't be able to solve it.
And I'll be like taking the corner pieces off and changing it that way. Yeah. Back, peeling off the stickers under the desk.
It comes soft. Why would I mess it up?
Exactly. That's how smart. See, that's how smart he is.
See?
Grant would have got it, and he would have started immediately scrambling it, whereas you would have just gone, it's soft.
Yep.
Darn. You said 3 companies that you're running. That's a lot. What are all 3 of them? Maybe I know some, but
yeah. So I got into medical physics, which is what I do as a profession. I'm a medical physicist. We work with radiation and medicine. And my father owns a company. That's how I got into it. And so whenever I moved back to Louisiana, I started working for him.
Okay, a little bit of nepotism, but that's fine. Okay, well,
nepotism.
Yeah.
You'll have to remind me what nepotism means.
It's when you sort of give opportunities to your children.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is totally fine.
It was either me or nobody, because it was just him. Like he had no employees. Like there was no one there.
Coffee Pod Squads, Emon Company, AMRAP Company, and a 4-time company.
Yep, those are the 3. Yeah, so I started working with that. I'm a part owner with him, but then I started another medical physics company that I have a partner in. That hopefully it's kind of like a partnership, which would take over a bunch of work that would be under a company that this partner owns. So we've kind of started, building that, and then the Imam Company as well. So 2 of the companies are in the same space, medical physics, and then the Imam Company, which is started as actually it wasn't started to make money, but it's grown a good bit.
Oh, what a happy accident. It wasn't starting to make money, but if money comes, I'm not going to throw it away.
I've actually been looking for a side hustle. Now, I don't know if a degree is required for this, but sometimes I'll go into, YouTube, and I can take stuff in and learn it really quickly. So if you need another medical physicist, I could probably get that down 6 to 8 weeks.
Dude, it's not a difficult job. I could teach anyone to get it done.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well, if you
find
need
that
an
hard to believe.
international branch, I'm over here in the UK.
That's right.
And,
me and Jason are in. We
Yeah.
need a side hustle.
Yeah.
yeah. And if they happen to make money like some of the other companies you got, that would be really convenient. Absolutely would not be complaining about that. Corey, Brandon Luckett, really, really smart. Not great with big words.
They did, vocabulary wasn't a big part of physics,
No.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And Jonathan has joined us. Hola,
Oh,
hola. And good, because last time he turned up as we were saying goodbye.
Yeah.
But the show's a bit later today, and so he's here, with time, which is great. That is, I can understand why you are very busy. You say working with radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So if some athletes
Like
start to
Oppenheimer?
kind of
Are you
come
like
down
Oppenheimer?
with radiation sickness or some other things sort of around games time, should we be keeping an eye on you, or
It won't be me?
it won't be you, but
It
you do
won't
have
be
business
me.
partners?
We do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Interesting.
There may be a little investigation. It will turn into the Hulk.
Okay, a couple of things here. Jason, try out the uplift WOD from 2022.
Jason's like, nah, dude.
Send it to me and I'll cry and then have a look at it. So, but I do like this one. John's saying Luckett is going to turn into the Hulk. That's true. I mean,
Not
I imagine there are probably, is gamma radiation on the banned substance list?
I hope not.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if it was. Is that the plan? Just Hulk out and
just ruin myself with radiation.
First step up of Chad, you just go through the box.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
Not Eric Bana Hulk. We don't want him.
No. We'll take Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Norton, maybe. That's okay.
Yeah. Or Harrison Ford, Red Hulk, coming soon.
Oh. Is that true?
Yeah, sorry. Anyone spoilers
Harrison
if you
Ford?
want to watch the new Captain America film that's coming out. I don't know, next year.
I didn't know it was Harrison Ford though. Okay.
Yeah, he the actor that plays General Ross died, and so they've replaced him with
that's right. Okay.
Harrison Ford. Yeah. Clydesdale Media, Brandon Smashbox. Yeah. Any thoughts on the? Check your DMs. Oh no. Any thoughts on?
You can't even win anything anymore. Don't do it.
The workouts that. Hey, I don't do any workouts to win anything.
That's true. Me neither.
I have a very realistic sense of my capabilities.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I do matchups.
Accumulate 200 wall balls is the start.
Oh, it'd take me a day, half day.
Okay, the other bits fine. The burpees, the pull-ups, and the double unders.
Brandon, what do you think about
I'm okay at that.
30-pound wall balls? The 30-pounders, are those rough for you or no?
The 30-pound wall balls?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're tough.
Yeah.
But I like wall balls. We do enough of them. So
yeah, 30-pounders break me, man.
I really hate wall balls. Were the so when I think about, or when I sort of promote CrossFit, the methodology and training at a box and all of that to people, like wall balls is a great example for me because I hate them with a passion. but because of sort of always going to like the 8 p.m. class and knowing the guys in the class, and they know how I feel about wall balls and I know how they feel about different movements and things like that. Anytime wall balls were in a workout, I had to be there, because if I wasn't there, even for like a legitimate reason that I couldn't come in, I was going to get bombarded with messages about how, oh, you saw there were wall balls, so you couldn't be bothered to come, sort of thing. So like that's for me, what's sort of helped me stick with CrossFit and keep doing it. And but I mean, I'm short, so the bottom part of the wall ball, fine. It's the having to jump.
It's the worst part.
The bottom's totally fine. Like I feel better going past depth. I feel like you get that little bounce, but it's the shoulder. It's the shoulder fatigue for me. Even when I, throw my arms down rather than keep them held up. Always been the shoulder. Shoulders are probably have always been my weakest area. So
yeah, I find it sounds stupid. It's kind of like the fact that it's almost like compared to like I will take a thruster over a wall ball because there's not the sort of impact of catching the ball.
I agree.
And that's what, I mean, my shoulder is.
I hate thrusters, but I hate wall balls worse. Those are the two movements I hate. I'm fine with burpees. Those two movements I don't like.
Yeah, I'm fine with burpees as well.
I like burpees.
That's no problem for me.
Yep.
But I was going to say, Brandon, of the workouts that have been released so far, what are your thoughts? How on the scale of how filled with confidence you are going into the games, which I already know is very high because of who you are. When you saw the different workouts trickling out, that confidence level just shooting up day by day.
Man, I don't think I'm an insanely confident athlete. I recognize that I'm capable, but I guess I'm confident in my capabilities. That has little to do with an expectation on like how it's going to shake out for me, So confidence in like how those will go for me is very different. I mean, dude, the athletes are so fit now. But I do love the events. I think they're dope. I like the grinding aspect of them. I like the simplicity. As far as I know, I don't really know how Chad's going to look quite yet. It looks like it's going to be like step overs or something. But man, I just like simple work and I like pain tolerance. So I'm looking forward to playing with them.
Oh, now you've mentioned about not knowing what Chad looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Grant was speaking with Ariel Lowen on his podcast show thing. And she was talking about the fact that the workout, like the twist, has been leaked and people know what it is. So, I mean, first of all, Grant, what do you think about that? What a nice little clip you got for your show.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't mind it. I was hoping that Ariel wasn't mad at me that it came out so quickly, but she was totally fine. What I think is that I had heard that, and kind of looking back, I almost wish I would have talked just a little bit more about it, not like drilled in too hard. But the reason why it was nonchalant for me is because I'd already heard that from multiple sources that was going around. Brandon, have you had a similar experience at all?
With like hearing about it?
With rumors going around about what it might be?
Yeah. I don't have like a ton of like competitive friends in like the CrossFit space, honestly. So like I'm always one of the last people to find out things about this. And like all like the top training camps, they get all of this insider information. It's like nuts. And I don't really like ever. I'm not privy to any of that.
It makes sense though if you do your own thing. I get it.
Yeah. No one's telling me any secrets out here.
You know what, Brandon?
If you're not in that WhatsApp group, they didn't put you in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that though? Like, I mean, it keeps happening, right? There's always these leaks. There's always people knowing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point do you just say, just tell people? Just like it like the only way you're gonna, either you have to keep the secrecy and there has to be serious consequences when people find out, or just like I'm trying to think if it was Hiller or somebody, like I think maybe it was Hiller that got something leaked to him and he just shared it, and then everyone was like, oh, why would you ruin the surprise and share it, and that's so bad. And it's kind of like, I get that, I would get that if it was a movie and someone just told you that Harrison Ford is going to be Red Hulk, and that could be very upsetting for you. But here you're talking about the fact that some people know.
Yeah.
So at this point, the only fair thing is that everybody knows.
Yeah,
Because
I think
you can't have somebody be like, "Oh yeah, okay, I know, but I promise I'm not going to train that. I'll make sure I don't train that leading up to the games. I'll be fair. It'll be like everybody else." And you're like, no, if you know, you're gonna use that knowledge to your advantage.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think it's a shame that the people on the demo teams don't have a bit more integrity, and like leaking things to their favorite training camp or like their buddies or whatever. Like I think it's kind of BS and it's a little bit frustrating, because like I don't understand why you'd want to go into an event with an unfair advantage that like your competitors don't really have. Right, that's like it's kind of like taking PEDs in my opinion.
It just taints it,
right?
It's like going to the the idea of like traveling to a weaker region to get in, and it's like, yeah, I made it to the games because I went to the weakest region and I beat all of those people. It's like, great, have fun at the games. I'm sure you're going to do really well. Like if that,
it's kind of just frustrating on the integrity of the people who are testing these workouts, and they're like go and tell people. I think that's kind of BS. It's not the fault of the training camps getting the information, unless they're like prompting these athletes to try to find out. I think that's a little frustrating as well. But yeah, I just don't really like the idea of athletes going into the games with an advantage that I guess really wasn't earned, right? Like be fitter than other people, but stop trying to find information that like other people can't get so that you can have like a leg up. Like, again, I feel like that's kind of like similar to taking PEDs or something, you know?
Have you done demo team?
I haven't done demo team, but I've tested the events for the games in 2020. So I went to Aromas and tested all the games.
Okay. Was that before
I was really
the game?
hoping that was going to be a have you done PED?
No, not since like middle school.
Yeah. And also the big giveaway is that he's having a kid. Like PEDs, like 95% of the time shut you down. So
yeah, so we're good.
You're good.
We've all got kids, so that's great.
Yeah.
We're good. I was going to say, yeah, like if somebody has, I think like if you've got an advantage, that idea of like having earned your advantage. So somebody who's like gone back through like the L1 or the old CrossFit workouts and been like, well, I remember years ago we were using parallel bars, or I remember years ago they were talking about doing this. So I've been training that for years. And then that shows up at the games, and other people are like, oh, I don't know how to do this because I've never trained it. And they're like, I've been training this, for the last 10 years when I first started doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like that's an earned advantage. You've been sticking close to the methodology.
They studied the sport. Like
exactly.
everyone has access to that information if you study the history of the sport.
But yeah, being just somebody saying, by the way, I think maybe you should
you should
look into triple
really
unders.
do some triple unders this week,
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be in it.
Okay, Clydesdale's been making some excellent points, so I'm just going to scroll back through them. If people keep adding new comments, so then I keep losing it, because he had a little saga here. CrossFit's worst kept secret, and it's got to be stunting the growth of the sport. Followed up with, the one fundamental premise with sport is not knowing the outcome, and if some get an advantage, it leans toward knowing the outcome. Interesting. And then I quite like this final comment, which was to expect a twin and an 18-year-old to keep a secret has some fundamental flaws.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to hear it being that, like, how some people sort of say about twins that they've got almost like a psychic bond. She's like, I didn't tell her. She just knew. Like that twin nature. Okay, interesting.
Well, what's the alternative? Here's the thing. Is Brandon, you might know this a little bit better. Is demo team something that you think, I mean, in some way, shape, or form, it's necessary, I'm sure, to make sure the events are going to run the way you think that they are. But then at the same time, you have to get athletes that are right on the cusp there, or you're not going to get an accurate depiction of what it might go like. So
yeah,
is there really a way you can do it without
it's different?
demo team?
It's different than demo team. Demo team is at the games. They're demoing all the events for all the athletes.
Okay.
The testing team goes out and tests with everybody. You do have to get good athletes to test because you need to know time caps. You need to know if like the skill is way out of hand, if the load is too heavy. So you have to have people that are capable in the events. I've done these things and kept my word and like not
Yep.
told people about like what I did
Yep.
at the event. It's just like it's like the responsibility of both the athlete testing the events and the community not to like try to find out what's going on. So
Yep.
yeah.
Castro, I think he probably, I like what they did with the semifinals leak, and I think they did something similar with this leak in that as soon as they found out there was a leak, they didn't say, "Oh, there's a leak." Now, Castro did acknowledge it on his week in review, but what they did was they just came out with it. Now, Dave essentially sent it out on Instagram when he was on Savan. And if he does know that it's out there, which I think he does, I do wish he had been a little bit more clear. He was still sort of playing games with it, like, "Oh, what did I say? You know, what's going on here? I don't know." And I feel like it would have been better if he just said, "Yeah, it's a, the twist is a twist. It's a step over and a turn, whatever. And the box looks different." Because if he does know it's out there, I think it's kind of the time for playing games is over, and you just tell people what it is. So the response, I think, is correct. Other than that, I think if people know, everybody needs to know.
I would love to see that anytime there's a leak of an event, they just change the event.
That would
Just
be
like
awesome.
mess everybody up. Be like, oh, you
That'd be
thought you
so
knew?
cool. Yep.
This is actually the event now. I would
That'd be
love
so
that.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this when they leaked the third open workout, and I just thought, like, because there's always, there's been this kind of running thing about like criticizing what CrossFit were putting out and how many mistakes they were making with the media and all of this. And I thought, what a great, like, one opportunity for them to be like, "Oh no, the workout's been leaked," and sort of everybody's like, "Oh, we already know." And then maybe they had it like on the whiteboard,
So
like
cool.
the workout, and then they just twist the whiteboard and it's a completely different workout. And it's like, oh yeah, you thought there was a leak, and like, yes, just
Have a backup.
Have a backup.
That'd be cool. I mean,
if they had
I
a
would
backup with
imagine,
the same equipment and like it didn't change floor plans or anything.
Yep. I feel like that'd be hard to have a backup for each workout, but that would be really cool if they did, because I don't think I can remember a time where something leaked and that we know of, it was then changed.
Yeah.
We might not know for sure, but at least publicly, I can't remember that ever happening. And I agree, that would be the ultimate.
And the workout, the workout they change it to should be considerably harder.
Yeah.
So
This is
like,
punishment.
so it's like
Chad,
punishment.
3,000.
And then the athletes are like, "I don't want to know. No. If you think like, we don't want to know, because every time we find out,
it
hurts
worse.
us more." So like, there you go.
Or like, dude, like if every time something got leaked and it just wasn't true, people would just stop believing it. Right.
Yes.
Like,
so with every like one
those,
leak, they need to send 10 more out.
Yeah.
Castro really likes trolling a little bit. He likes to sit back and kind of watch the destruction. So how about let's take this up a level and put some false leaks out there. If you're gonna do something, do some counter leaks, so that nobody can trust them.
Yeah.
So there've been some.
We've solved everything for Castro. Hopefully he's tuned in. Maybe he's clocked.
Okay, first of all, let's just go uplift. I was saying Tetlow had a good-looking shirt on at West Coast Classic. I wonder if that might have been the Jason Smith Media T-shirt, but it's more likely the uplift one. So go. Corey on fire. Also, Scott, it's fairly obvious Dave has a thing about Brooke Wells, so for him to add Sydney to the demo team is double asking for it.
Yeah.
And then there was a fun little discussion here. Sydney just demonstrated the capacity.
Can you keep a secret? Yes.
CrossFit absolutely the capacity to tell her sister. So wonderful. And what Zombie's joining the chat saying, Luckett looks way smarter with his glasses on.
What do I look like without glasses?
You look like the second smartest person that they know.
A dummy.
Here we are. Demo and testing team should get smoke signaled and false flags. Yeah.
I mean, they should have him do I just feel like Castro's smart and mischievous enough that he could probably single-handedly, and it would probably be fun for him, do some things like that to kind of just throw people off enough that it's not so easy as just somebody tells somebody and then people know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that can be better contained.
Yeah. It is. It's funny because it even happens now at like lower level competition that people are leaking
Yeah.
stuff. They're getting to know stuff. So there was a competition I was at recently, and then afterwards I found out that, because somebody worked for one of the companies that helped make the rigs and stuff like that, they had information and then they'd shared it to other people, and then other people had and you're like, and then people are phoning like the, people they know working for the event saying, I'm hearing this, so I think you have a leak and you need to flag. And the problem is, especially on these smaller scale things, is it's very easy to identify those leaks. Like, there's only so many people. There's a handful of people that know, so there should be some consequence to it.
Yeah, I think it depends on the circumstance. Well, I can't imagine one where it's good. I mean, I try to look at the best intent in people. So whoever it was, of all people, can understand being a little bit impulsive or sharing something that you shouldn't. But like at my job, I have to sort of contain that. So I also understand that you don't have to go blab. You can contain the information that you need to contain and have integrity, even if you are an impulsive person or whatnot, or you talk a lot. So I'd like to think that wherever it came from didn't have ill intent. It's hard to imagine a scenario where I wouldn't be critical of somebody sharing that information with anyone. You should just be going in there. Like the only person, I think it wasn't Mertens, if you know his personality, no way. But you just
he'd be giving out the false leaks.
Yeah, that's right. He's smart. It's just crazy to me, man. You have to have people there who are going to have the mindset of like, they're not even joking about it. Like you bring it up, it's just next topic. So even if that, I guess in my mind, when I was asking Brandon about, do we need to have the testing team? And obviously we do. I would almost rather, they try to get the people that just missed. Even if you've got to go a few spots back to get somebody that is going to be rock solid, I'd almost rather that. Like when you pick Colton Mertens, you got a pretty good idea that, you're not going to get a leak. So I'm not sure they should just be picking necessarily the people that just missed, especially like somebody mentioned, somebody's got a sister and somebody's only 18. What was that, Trisha, who's only 18? Yeah.
I mean, dude, like I've had plenty of close friends who have done, a couple of close friends of mine tested the semis events before semifinals. Like I just didn't ask what the events were. Like I didn't know jack going in. It's just, it's dumb. It's frustrating.
I'd be telling you things like, it's Chad, but guess what? This is the twist. The ruck, it's filled with helium. You're lighter. It's easier, actually. It's going to be a really easy workout, so don't worry about it. You don't even need to train for that one. And then, Tetlow isn't telling anyone.
No, man.
No.
The mustache is sealed.
The problem is when we do this, like Colton's not telling anyone, Tetlow's not telling anyone. It like automatically assumes this smaller group of people. And then I feel bad because we don't know 100% who it was. So maybe they know and maybe they'll do something. I doubt it, sort of, but there should be some sort of consequence.
There should be a 4-year ban if you break the NDA, as bad as PEDs.
Okay, I agree, but I think you have to know that ahead of time. And wouldn't that deter you though? Like, hey, if we're gonna investigate. If we see a text message, we see anything, and we can prove that you leaked it to anyone, you're gone for 4 years.
Yeah. No one would say shit at that point.
John Young said it wasn't leaked from a demo team.
Testing. I heard otherwise from multiple sources, but
also it wasn't necessarily only leaked from one person.
That's true.
Like it could have been leaked from 3 people or 4 people.
I specifically heard a testing team member. However, I cannot confirm that, and therefore I'm not gonna, say
as much damage to the sport as PEDs, according to Clydesdale, which is what Brandon was saying before. Like it's an unfair advantage that you've given yourself. It's not a chemically induced unfair advantage, but it's still an advantage over the rest.
I feel like it's less of an advantage. Brandon, do you think knowing the workouts 2 months ahead of time or what is it, a month ahead of time is really the same advantage as being on PEDs?
No, it's not as I wouldn't say it's as like it's one event. It's one event, a PD helped you across, multiple events. But it's more of just like an integrity thing, honestly, and it's damaging to the sport, because it loses credibility and so it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's the same severity in the same vein. I just think that the PDs would help you a little bit more.
Okay, then it's a 3-year ban. That's we'll be slightly
a 1-year ban.
That's right.
Some consequence.
Yeah.
Something. No, I agree. A 1-year ban would be really good. That's significant, and I don't think anybody would do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting. Yeah. At what point do you bring in the people they leak it to as well?
Clydesdale brings up like that, and like I didn't know that the crossover double unders got leaked because like for years I was like asking myself the question like, how did these people know to bring a beaded rope? Like no one's ever used a beaded rope at the games.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
was that out there last? Well, this was was this last year or the year before? I can't remember.
A few years ago.
Yeah, okay. 2 years ago. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Knowing crossover double unders was a huge advantage.
Oh, huge. That's a big one.
Why the hell did people have a beaded rope?
Well, we know Nick Matthew got it leaked to him then.
I mean, he didn't have a beaded rope.
He didn't have a beaded rope.
He just had a regular wire rope.
Okay. Wow, then he was just killing it out there.
Yeah.
It was him, right? Who was doing really good at or won the event?
Yeah, he crushed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Corey Fick's 1-year ban isn't enough. He said we've got to go.
As long as they know ahead of time. Like at this point, if you find out who did it, if you found out who did it at this point, 4 years would be harsh. I feel like
beaded rope in grade school.
I feel like going in, they got to know what the consequences are.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Is like you should read the NDA that you sign. Like here's the consequence if you leak it.
Yeah, and that should be written really small.
We never think about signing things anymore. Like putting your name on something actually used to mean something. We do it so mindlessly now.
When Apple made people scroll through 255 pages.
No, I agree with you there. I was just thinking
like, yeah, you know what?
Oh yeah, my name means nothing right now.
There was so let's just sidetrack here because Wad Zombie was in. I don't know if he's still here, but he was here a moment ago, and he was asking Nick. So Cora was asking Nick why we don't have a Brandon Luckett card.
I think they recently made one.
Have they made one for you now?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm still waiting for Wad Zombie to send the stuff over to Rising Tide, who will then send it on to me. So if there's one, maybe it will be turning up on my door at some point in the future. That will be great. I look forward to it.
Epic.
Joining the others on the shelf. There we are.
Yeah,
a few there, but we'll see. Oh, Kevin Doyle, didn't Castro say he would be able to tell which person leaked if it were to happen? Yeah, they have to do that thing where they give them one piece of information that's unique to each person.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, there's a twist. It's a step over, and you've got to turn at the top, but you have to step down with your left foot, and then someone else has told you have to step down with your right foot.
Yeah.
Someone else has told you've got to jump down. I don't know.
I could see him doing something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but it does matter. But like this is all speculative on our point of what could they possibly do to wipe it out. I mean, what about? Oh, so I get distracted with these comments. What about when Castro would punish athletes for embarrassing public shaming and apologies like Ryan Fisher?
We already have Hiller. We don't need more public shaming.
No, we need to help these people do better. Oh. Kevin says, if there's any change to the demo team, we will know.
Ayo.
That's a good point.
Oh, wait. Why is that? Does the testing team also do the demo?
Well, no, if it's been leaked from someone on the demo team, I think the idea is if suddenly the demo team that had been announced shows up and one athlete's been swapped out for another athlete.
Oh, yeah.
For sort of not because they've broken their leg, we're like, and if it's because they've broken their leg, guess who broke their leg?
Yeah,
that's that. And we've understood how the ban works. So
you mentioned the public shaming by Hiller. That's funny. I literally have a reel that's coming out that I shot with somebody in Virginia who also does similar content, and I literally had to edit it to edit out my squats because from the angle I'm like, I'm not sure I'm hitting depth. And like literally during the open, like the odds of him finding me among the random videos are so low. But during the open, I was also, he went in my head multiple times, like on the thrusters on the third workout, because I'm not at an affiliate right now, so I can't see what I'm doing, and I don't have a judge. And I was just like, oh man, I hope I'm hitting depth.
Yeah. So those world record times you put up are slightly suspect at this point.
They weren't world
Look,
record. I think it was
if you're not submitting your score to something and you're just training, I don't don't matter.
No, I was submitting my score for that.
The moment you submit your score, it matters.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and I was for that.
Yeah, I wonder how I can edit that statement that Brandon's made and put it out there as something like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You know, hitting depth doesn't matter." Just
if you're not submitting a score, it don't, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
Go do your quarter squats, bro. We don't mind.
Hey, there's probably some benefit to quarter squats.
You're not an affiliate. Boo.
It's because it's where I'm at, and I agree 100% with Ortega, and it pains me. I work out at lunch at noon. It's really the only time that really works in my day. And the two affiliates, there's only two within 100 miles, and they're both like 25 miles away, and they both don't have classes around my time. I'm in Wichita, which is where my wife's family is, Wichita, Kansas, which is like,
which sounds made up to me.
It's so bad.
I'm like, that's what I would write in a book if I was making up a place in America, and I'm like, I need to pick some kind of out of the way place where the serial killer comes from. Where should we go?
Right.
Wichita. Yeah, that sounds fine.
Kipping It Real wouldn't exist if I weren't in Wichita, because there's just nothing to do here, and that's how I came up with my hobby. So,
not great linemen out there. Okay. So sorry. Apart from the leaks of people knowing things, and I think somebody asked it earlier, but Brandon, one of the workouts that have been released, which one is sort of the one you're most looking forward to? And then is there something that you would love to see show up that, hasn't yet been announced, but you kind of think potentially would show up and that you'd be quite looking forward to?
I'm pretty stoked about Chad. I never really know like how these things will go, right? Like I said, like the athletes are so damn fit that my placing is very like my expected placing. Like I don't have any expected placing. It's not like if I say like I really like this workout, I think I can get like a top 10 or something. I want to do Chad. I've never done it. That's a grind. It's like it's just like a mental battle, even like training for it so far. It's just like every time it's just so mental. So I'm excited about that, regardless of what twist they have. I don't even know. And then I think it would be, there's a few things I would love to see. Would be like a C2 bike event. That'd be awesome. Or like if they had like an EMOM style workout, like I think that'd be cool. Like I've seen those come up in some CrossFit events recently, and if it's structured well, it's a cool event. So there's two things I think would be fun.
I would like maybe like a kind of EMOM death by mix up. So it's like here's the work you've got to do, and just who can keep going. Like how many minutes can you do of this? And like that would be entertaining.
The EMOM guy wants an EMOM, dude. But I mean the 2-2-3 intervals are kind of similar to that, where it's like a 2-minute AMRAP, 1 minute rest, 2 minute, until you either finish the work or get capped. So something like that would be pretty fun.
So you like those where do you like the one sort of they had the one with the yoke, and then they had one, was it like a sled pull, where you would have like a certain amount of work to get through before you move on to like that element, and then it's like who can get the yoke across first, but you've only got the amount of time like in that window left, sort of thing. So something like that would be, I mean, I was thinking something like that for you, considering like the workout that we've done where it's sort of max calories in the time remaining. So if it was like a max something in the time remaining, maybe you'd like that on the bike then. It's like earn your seat on the bike, and then who is going to get the furthest or the most calories or whatever on the bike. But you're only, I could just imagine the like screen going off during the other bit, and they're like, oh no, we've got to try and how are we going to fix that?
Do you think we're going to see a bicycle this year, Brandon?
Unlikely. Trek was located in Madison, Wisconsin, so it's pretty easy to get 80 bikes over to the venue. I'm not positive that that's, and I think Dave also said that all of the outdoor events have been released. Yeah. So all of my bike riding has gone to waste now.
Well, Brandon, it's made you a fitter individual, so it hasn't gone to waste, has it? And I mean, maybe that'll be the twist on the lake. They'll give you like those bikes that have like the weird wheels that are like like kind of pedalo type
What about
things, and you'll be
bike?
yeah, like
It's all
you're like
on a
biking
treadmill.
across the water. Like that would be great.
Yeah,
You stick you all in little pedalos and off you go. And
yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see that. And then they'd be like, there was no need to be worried about snakes in the water. You're not actually in the water. You're sitting on a
That's
little
right.
bike, pedaling
Yeah,
to
Snakes
get
in
it
the lake.
across as fast as you can.
that'd be hysterical.
That would
Brandon's
be
not
good.
worried about if there are snakes. Brandon's got the advantage. He's from Louisiana. I see him swimming in them rivers with
Yeah.
gators and all sorts of crazy stuff. He ain't afraid.
He probably
All
grabs the snakes.
It's
He's
Vellner and
spinning
the-
them to increase his speed.
Vellner in those beautiful Canadian waters. He's the one that's at risk. There's nothing in those waters.
Yeah, he only knows how to skate over them when they're frozen.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, let's a few serious questions here. I've tried some of these Emomco workouts. I can't do them RX. Why do you make them so hard?
They are hard.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
But you've got multiple versions. That's the thing.
It is.
I feel the same way about Proven.
I don't think that intensity is king, so that's not my answer. But stimulus is, and so everything's written to incite a stimulus that causes adaptation. And that's why they're hard.
Yeah.
Well, whatever he just said sounds like it's right. So I agree.
Hold on. Now all the comments are coming in as I try to pull one up so the others disappear. Kevin asked a really interesting question. Is there any event over the past few years Brandon would like to have participated in?
Yes. I think it was 2016 games. They had the trail run in Aromas. It was like a 5K.
Yeah.
I liked that event. The triathlon way back when, like the Camp Pendleton triathlon is like a swim run bike, or swim bike run. Yeah, there's a ton of events over the sled push rope climb from California. They're like pushing like football sleds. That one looked dope. So yeah, there's a ton of them out there that I'd love to have done.
Yeah, I remember that.
Have you ever like recreated any of them?
Capital? Did you do the Capital?
I didn't compete that year.
Would you do that? Would you just randomly go there?
Go to Madison and like do this event. Yeah, Proven actually programmed that for their like competitive program recently, I think.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you can find an entire crowd of people to get behind you as you're trying to go up the stairs at the end, that's just really good. It's a great photo opportunity. So see if you can invite your friends and family to watch you train.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Johnny Hayes, Brandon, for your 3 times 30 minutes, or 3 minutes for 30 minutes, your target is 31 calories and under the minute. What's a good calorie target for normal people?
It's going to be based on the individual. I would say first find out how many calories you can do in 1 minute at what you believe to be sustainable effort. That doesn't mean below threshold. It means like right above or like right at your threshold. And so it's going to take a little bit of tinkering with, and then you kind of just see if you can do it. That's kind of how I landed on 30 calories. You know, it's like 30 calories in a minute. It's pretty tough. Let me see if I can repeat this 30 or 10 times, you know?
Yeah. I don't think I can repeat it 1 time, so that's fine.
Wait, what's
Corey
that?
said I've done it at 21 calories. So there you go. That's made it 5 rounds.
What is there a
24.
break? What is it's 3 minutes, 10?
It's every 3 minutes for 30 minutes, a 30-calorie fan bike in under 60 seconds. So you basically you get, whatever time you have left over, at least 2 minutes. If you don't make it in under the 1 minute, you fail the round and you're done. I mean, whenever I first started that, I was just doing 30 calories every 3 minutes for 30 minutes. And they were taking me anywhere from 110 to 120 to complete. So I was getting, 90 plus seconds of rest. And as I did it more and more, my splits got lower. And until I got to the point where I was like, okay, let me see if I can do this in under a minute. Let me see how many of them I can do in under a minute. And at first it was like 4 or 5, and I would go to failure. And then, over time, I put in enough stimulus to cause adaptation. And I did 10 rounds.
But 3 minutes typically would not be enough time to recover if you were going at like 95% or 99%, would
Correct.
it?
I mean, I'd probably not. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do 35 calories every 3 minutes. I did
Yeah.
31 every 3 minutes in under 60 seconds a few days ago. And that was miserable. That was like really, really hard.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. It seems small, but it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem small. When I start on that bike, the amount of time that passes before I see 1 calorie appear on that screen, I'm like, the 1 calorie is a huge. It's just,
Yeah, I know.
I hate it. I feel like I'm pedaling, I'm pumping my arms, and nothing is happening. It's just,
yeah.
I was trying to find.
I mean, bikes another one that's tough for me. So
yeah, Kenneth DeLapp said, "I made it. I state my support for Grant." So, congratulations, Grant. Support is stated. There was a question asked, and then it was about the C2 bike, I think.
Of the internet.
I don't think they ever used a C2 bike at the games for individuals.
Not for individuals.
No.
They've had them at sanctionals. They've had them for team.
Really?
They've had them for masters at the games. But they've never had them for individuals.
Okay, so maybe this is a year. Maybe it's well. I guess they haven't had them because, like, they've had a lot of bike riding, so it seems kind of.
You know who would smash a C2 bike event?
Brandon Luckett.
No.
Oh,
Jason Hopper.
Jason Hopper.
Dude, outer worldly.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm pretty good at the C2 bike, and Jason Hopper can smash me, like absolutely destroy me. It's insane.
Oh, in fact, look.
Wasn't he doing when Savon did the
Hopper, Kevin Doyle, Hopper, so people knew.
They all knew it, dude.
Jason Hopper. Hopper would crush your C2 work.
36 cows on the rower for quarterfinals. That was on Savon. Somebody was pulling something ridiculous.
A 20-minute watt test is like basically your average wattage you can hold for 20 minutes. And it's an all-out effort for 20 minutes straight. To me, anything over 300 is pretty damn good. Mine is 313, and I did that a couple weeks after semis.
Yeah.
So maybe if I retested it, it'd be closer to like 325, and I would be really happy with 325. Jason Hopper's is like 425, I think, watts for 20 minutes.
That's insane. That's I
beg anybody
wow
to go hold 425 watts for a minute and just see how it goes.
Okay. The challenge has been put out, people. I will not be doing it, but if anybody else wants to do that, challenge has been laid.
Nuts.
You might see it turn up in a workout.
Yeah, that's soon. That's like my 2 minutes. Everything you've got at the end of a workout is like 425 for me. I can't imagine 20. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't fathom that right now. I say it right now, but
okay. Augustus Lake. Would Brandon send me a shirt if I could hold over 300 watts for the 20-minute test?
300.
I mean, how good are you at the bike? Like, is this something you're going to be like easily hold? And I'm like, I'm just going to send you a shirt without any real
I
test.
think he's just finished the Tour de France. So
yeah.
Probably fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, if you can't do it, he'll send you a
for
shirt.
a minute, do I get a shirt?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
buy you a shirt from Luckett and send it to you.
If you can do either of those, if you can hold 425 for a minute or hold 300 for 20 minutes, I'll send you a shirt.
Only Augustus.
I feel like
nobody else gets on that.
A minute is.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one who asked.
That's a unique thing for him. So don't all of you suddenly.
I don't like the 425.
Yeah. I like the idea that he's not good on the bike, but he's like a tech whiz and he knows how to hack the bike monitor to make it appear that he's done it.
Yeah.
He just sends you a picture of that. Okay.
We already made a deal. The deal's been made.
The deal has been made. If
I
only
feel
it was
like he's going to get that
somewhere.
425.
Well, then I'll send him a shirt.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
And he has to send I need a picture of it.
Yeah.
Also with like the pain face as well.
I need a video. The video's got to be submitted. I don't give away things for free without
there has
any
to be a video that we'll video
That's
review. like as if it was submitted for the CrossFit Open. So
Correct.
you know,
That's right.
he's just gonna do it when he gets home.
Yep.
I'll hop
It'll
on
be
my
sent
CT
over
bike when
to
I get home.
Hiller for review.
No, send it to me. Like I said, send it. Make sure that I'm tagged in this. This will all be cut and pasted and put together or something. So yeah, everyone is saying videos are coming.
Now I'm being strict
Let
on
Jason do
standards.
his thing.
Yeah, the same.
Hey,
the
if
same,
you're
the game you're
submitting
saying
a
said it didn't matter.
score, it's got to be strict.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grant, I had a question. Being as we were talking about Hopper, I was thinking about this. I know you're going
Yeah.
to the games. I know you are a
Sure.
sneaky individual who has, sneaky plans and how to get places and do things. I'm just wondering, your
Sure.
surname is Hooper. It's very close to Hopper. And I'm just wondering if you thought about any way of trying to pretend you are his older brother or uncle or something like that, and just sort of trying to sneak backstage to see your relative, Jason Hopper, because of course you are.
I actually really like that. I really like that. I think that Hopper probably doesn't know me, and it'd be a better idea to really go all out if I wanted to go that route, and to just go ahead and get the name changed temporarily through the court system, and maybe actually pretend to be related to him and see if that can get me some sort of clout, maybe like an interview or something.
Yeah.
You got to go all in if you're going to do something like that.
I love the interview
So
being,
I
don't
like the
know me,
name
but
change for
we've
that,
got the
not-
same name. I'm your long lost brother. That would be an interesting interview.
No, there'd be a
okay.
whole backstory. Like, I was on familytree.com and
Right. Yeah. You know what it should be? Is you should say, the funny thing is the other day I got on a C2 bike and I just held over 400 watts, and people were saying to me, that's amazing. The only other person we've seen do that is this guy, Jason Hopper. And then suddenly you're like, oh, we must be. And that's how I found out I was related to you. It was the C2 bike in the DNA.
I like
Wonderful.
it. There might be something there. Yeah, I've been having I've been brainstorming some things, so I'm going to add that to the list. There's got to be something there.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Corridor says stop saying sneaky, Jason. Why? I remember the old Arm and Hammer Sneaky Fit. That was Hi, I'm Grant Hooper, Jason Hopper's older illegitimate brother. There we go. Try that at the games. Speaking of the games, okay, wonderful.
I am a
Brandon,
lot older.
all the best on the very short remaining amount of time you have to kind of, I'm guessing, are you sort of tapering off now? Is this sort of finally getting a little bit of time to relax and prepare yourself mentally before you go, or are you still hard at it? Every day is another opportunity to get a little bit better before the games. What's the
I just like training hard. So
training hard.
This week will still be pretty tough work. I mean, the bike session I did before this was over 90 minutes long. I just like training. So I'll train pretty hard this afternoon or do something difficult. Friday and Saturday will be, some just general CrossFit, but it's stuff that I enjoy. It's not something like I'm dreading to go do, like, oh, I got to do this because I got to get fitter. It's like, I'm just going to do stuff I enjoy. And Sunday to Wednesday will be enough of a taper back and like reel back that, I'll feel pretty good for Thursday.
Yeah, it's like cramming for an exam the night before. I can still learn this. I can still get fitter.
Won't be doing that.
No, great.
Well,
Grant was about to say something.
Brandon, I don't want you to be disturbed if I. Oh, sorry. You go. It's your show.
No. I stopped because you were about to say something. I wanted to hear what you were going to say.
Okay. Now just remember, Brandon, don't be disturbed if anybody comes up alongside you in the run swim. I'm not sure if you saw my reel on that, but I do not have credentials. And my whole idea was to kind of maybe if I show up early, and submerge myself, that, if I kind of come up next to somebody, I could get like a mid-water interview, and that the whole thing on that is that'd be my big break. So I just want to give you the heads up. I like you, but if you see like somebody come up, it's just me, man. Don't worry.
Just sneaking up like a little swamp puppy in the water.
That's right.
That's what we call alligators down here in Louisiana.
What do you call
them?
Swamp puppies.
Swamp puppies. Great.
Yeah.
I know there's some moderators in the chat. They can finally kick someone out. They've been waiting to do it for ages, but it looks like we've got
yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That's all.
Yeah. So
I'm glad
one
I'm
of you
not
people
looking.
that have
I did have.
wrench,
Can I ask Brandon one question?
Get on it. Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. I was wondering, in the past, I can't seem to get a lot of info in the past when they've had events that are running swimming and whatnot. Is there typically any, I'm guessing it won't be all of the people who have tickets, but like, is there typically anywhere to watch, or do they have an area at the finish line in the past? I know it's a different setup, but do you know that off the top of your head?
For swimming?
Well, in the past, when they've had either a running event, swimming event, outdoor event that's like
Yeah.
out in an area where you can't have people like you can in a stadium, do they typically set up a spot for spectators or no?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
open to the public, the finish line area. It's always like, gated off or whatever.
Awesome.
So, yes.
Cool. Exciting.
Okay. Yeah, I like that you really are planning. How do I break in? It's
Well, I honestly just want to watch the, all seriousness. I want to watch the event or the end of the event. So yeah.
Well, just be careful that Go Ruck are heavily involved this year, and you've got a swimming event. So that's all I can say. Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Too many comments coming through now. It doesn't matter. We're wrapping things up. Brandon's got lots more training to do. He likes doing hard, horrible things. So we got to let him
I
get
hope
off.
that I just want to show up on Thursday really sore and beat up. That's the goal.
He's like, I just want to look good when I take my shirt off.
Stop it.
Yeah. What you want is that you ache so much that when they finally let you in the water, you're like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Finally, I can decompress.
Exactly. Okay. It's a good strategy. Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, all the best, Brandon. We'll be
Thank you.
cheering you on. Some of us from the comfort of our own homes, but others in person, like Brandon, like Brandon. You are Brandon. Like Grant. Grant will be there.
Dude, if you grab my foot in the water, I will drown you.
Yep.
But what a reel to go out on. So that would be
okay.
Make sure somebody's got access to your account before that happens. I'm just looking
to get a real quick shot. That's all I want.
Yeah. Perfect.
Kenneth's asking the story with the bear. Go back. He mentions it earlier. The bear's name is Castro, and go follow Kipping It Real if you want to see him show up apparently in an upcoming reel. I normally ask people what they've got coming up, but we know what you've got coming up. Brandon, it's the CrossFit Games. So there you go. Everybody look out for that. I don't know when the next show will be. I usually say that at the end of this. There will be another show. I am actually also experimenting with a new idea as well. So there will be potentially kind of 2 shows. One will be like this, because I love speaking to incredible athletes like Grant and getting people like Brandon on who are, obviously giving it a go. But I always feel like if all of CrossFit, just like competitive CrossFit, disappeared, it wouldn't matter to me if my local affiliate was still there and I was still training, with that. And I feel like a lot of people maybe feel that way. So hopefully we're going to keep the same format, 2 guests, but those guests are going to be affiliate owners. And my plan is to try and initially go around the whole of the UK, getting all the UK affiliate owners on. But I won't limit it to that. If you want to come on and an affiliate owner from another part of the world, I'd love to get you on. But I just think it would be nice, the same way like you guys can bounce ideas off each other, hearing, the struggles, the enjoyment, the, what's gone well, what they're struggling with from like affiliate owners from different parts of the UK. Maybe they can help each other out and also, have a chance to kind of show off their community. Awesome. So been speaking with Andy Edwards, who is the CrossFit UK manager and affiliate owner of Dragon. Hopefully he will be one of the first coming on. So that might be next week, or it might be, we might push that till after the games. I'm not sure. And then who knows who else is coming on at the moment. It's almost like all the athletes are really busy. I don't know why. I'm not sure what's going on, that people are incredibly busy and it's hard to get them on, but I'm sure they'll be coming on. So thank you again to Brandon. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, everybody in the comments. And I guess with that, we are done.
Thank y'all.